Hi everyone, my name is Fred Hill. I've been an owner-operator for 32 years in Southern California, and I have 3 stores. I wish I could be with you guys today, but we planned a trip a year ago, and my wife and I will be gone. But I sent my 2 beautiful daughters, and they'll be here representing our family. You asked the question, what does McFamily mean to me? I heard that term 34 years ago. I was going to make a speech for a Ronald McDonald house function in Arizona, and I was seated with the Brownstein family. Bill Brownstein was there with his son Mark and Pete Horner and all their wives. And they said, Fred, you got to become an owner-operator. And they really encouraged me. They said I could work in their store, and that's when I applied. 2.5 years later, I got my store in Mission Viejo, and that's exactly what it was, a McFamily. I couldn't believe the McDonald's next to me was only 2.5 miles away. They were going to have tremendous impact from my store. And Jim Frisbee called, and he said, Fred, if you want to train your people at my store, you're welcome, all your crew and your management, which we did. Then my surprise, when we opened the store, he sent Scott, his son, Sharon, his daughter, and his supervisor, and they worked that whole week helping me open my store. So it was like a McFamily, and McDonald's was great. What a great thing, the corporation and the owner-operators, and it was truly a McFamily. A lot of you know that my daughter was the inspiration for the first Ronald McDonald house. And when she passed away 8 years ago, I started thinking, I better get somebody else in our family to be able to take over these stores just in case something happens to me. So I talked to my daughter KRISTINA, and she was a school teacher at the local high school teaching Spanish, and she was excited. The rules, the first thing you got to do is own 20% of the business. So I had to change from sole proprietor to a corporation, and I had to gift her over 3 years the 20% of the restaurant. And then it started just like we had to go through. The first thing was BOC, IOC, AEC, and then graduate from Hammond University, which she did and made the dean's list. The next year they said, we have a new RDM program for managers, and we'd like to have your daughter go through it. So that's what we did. That next year she completed RDM, went to Hamburg University, graduated on the dean's list. The next year they said, we need to have KRISTINA run the store. So she was the manager at my Mission Viejo store for another year. And then they said, what we need to do? We need to have her run all 3 stores. And we don't want her to be a 3-store operator, we want her to be a 10-store operator. And that was 2017. And we're gonna evaluate her on her sales, her transactions, and her store grades. Well, that year, Chris did great. We had an $870,000 increase in sales. We had over an 8% increase in transactions, which amounted to 119,000 more transactions. We had good grades, and we couldn't wait for our business review. Then our business review, they didn't say anything that complimented us. They just said, well, let's see how she does financially. So Chris never gives up. So basically what she did was she asked my accountant, Jim Howard, to give her some private lessons. She entered the Kincannon-Miller class online, and then she went to Florida and finished the Kincannon-Miller. So we couldn't wait till the next business review because we thought we did everything required. But when it came the week before my business review, my business partner says, we are not going to make Chris available to go into the second generation now or never in the future. And I'm just kind of sitting here, why? We didn't really have a good answer. So what I need from you guys is we got to do something about the second generation program. And my daughter has a lot of ideas, and she's there. So I'd like to introduce my daughter KRISTINA to all of you.